Hey, this is for all you teachers out there at Oxford, right? MIT, Caltech. Hey, how about an elementary school? You know how we measure, dear, if you've watched the videos, right? How do we measure intelligence and creativity? So I'm asking myself here, how long is it going to be before my intention is distracted by somebody else's mind that I got to give attention to? Intention and attention. Distractions. The more they throw distractions at you and us, the more we experience who they are and less of what we are. That's a measurement in learning. Because the more love you have within you to be free to create your own reality, what do you think happens? Two big things. Your creative imagination skyrockets and goes ballistic. Ask any girl who's a birth giver. Okay? That's why she gives love to that newborn. Right? Why? So that child of hers that she just popped out thrives. A girl wants her children to thrive. So they're happy, joyful, creative, and experiencing more neurons. That's higher creative intelligence. My father knew that. My father always reminded me that the power within you is your creative intelligence, your creativity. Quantum erasers, quantum holographic manifestors, creating and uncreating, memory wipes. Right? Remember I talked about that in another video? The reality that I'm in right here is low density consciousness energy. This is not the kind of energy that I want to experience. Then why am I here? Teaching, imparting knowledge. Actually, that's what it is. I'm simply providing information. What anybody chooses to do with that information when they become aware of is not up to me. It's up to them. If it clicks in their neurons and they realize, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I remember I took a biology class in 6th grade. Now, the Hawaiians, they get all this down usually by around age 7. Okay? So their children are often running in the cosmos, running at a high rate of speed. Now that you're going faster, you're not held captive by something lower on the food chain, are you? So the evolution on a food chain is based on how many neurons you're generating. That's why girls are naturally smarter. Aren't they? Why? Because they have to be. Because life comes out of her. Otherwise, your species goes extinct, doesn't it? So if you want your species to go on forever, to keep reproducing what is so beautiful to experience, then it starts with love, doesn't it? Which is what light is. That's how blood comes about. And what does that do? Well, let me direct you to another teacher. His name is Dr. Robert O. Young. And he has the PH Miracle Center down in, it's outside Escondido. That, if you look on a map, you'd probably see the largest city is Escondido, but a place called Valley Center. And I used to live in Valley Center. I worked for Cal Fire there, and that's beautiful down there. Love San Diego. It's beautiful. So I'm always giving Robert O. Young an enormous amount of love because he's a teacher and he's a scientist. So naturally, they got to blackball him out of business Try and do a Google search and see if you can gain access to his information. They won't let you see it. Why? Because they don't want you to evolve. They're lower on the food chain. So if they realize that you're evolving and realizing loss of neurons doesn't serve you, and you begin to realize that the more neurons I'm generating, the more intelligent I am, you begin to realize that your state of vibration will increase at such a high rate of speed. The next thing you know is you're not even perceiving something that's feeding on your energy. So if you want to escape and experience something higher on the food chain than what a lizard is, then I would suggest to start behaving the way that a Homo sentient sapien does, which is what? Higher intelligence. Simply go to Project Ascension. I'll leave you with this. Go to Project Ascension, and I think it was the video that Patty put up, which is Saturn. No, it's Star Wars. I forget. I think it's video number 53, somewhere right around in there. But you'll see sort of pictures of Saturn, where Patty will show you what Gaia did, okay? And how they do things, for example, over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's not very intelligent, is it? And it certainly isn't very creative. If you put a wall up, we'll find a way to dig a tunnel underneath it, build an airplane to fly over it, or find a way to get around it. And why is that? Well, if you know how basic electrical information networks work, we're going to be finding the path of least electrical resistance. Why is that? To spread as much love and light as we can everywhere. That means we're building larger networks of information, aren't we? That's building a universe, by the way, in which we can all communicate with each other through neurons, right? Right. Which means I don't need to talk to you in order to know what it is that I know that I share with you. You get the communication internally. Now I become aware of it. Right? Without making a sound. Imagine that. But we live in a sound universe. Sound and light. Got to cool that processor down. That's why we got a blue sky. I push purple light. Okay. Arcturus, the Boots constellation, right? A red giant. That's what they call it, a red giant. So imagine the energy transfer, the energy experiences, okay, in that star system. Higher energy, higher vibration, more information. Wow. The universe really does love me. Yes, of course we do. That's how you go on forever, don't you think? So before I exit this particular video, I'll just mention a few things I wrote down, because I'm going to leave this notebook with somebody else so they can review it. Because remember, this is like crash course time, you know, and it's painful when I realize I'm trying to help a guy restore himself, and his consciousness or his brain or his heart, if you will, is scrambled. And it's like having a gazillion pieces all over the floor, and he's trying to put that puzzle together, and it's just like fractured, pulling those pieces all together in a geometric way, right? And that's what he's attempting to do. So it's like, man, it's like starting with a 3 or a 4-year-old child. You got to learn, basically, remember, learning how to walk again, learning how to think again, which is neurons. So bonding, pairs, that's why chromosomes are in pairs, right? Performance improvement. How do you improve your performance? Generating more neurons. Go be with a girl. Power vacuums, the vacuum of space. The key to success in higher evolution is generating more neurons, isn't it? So how do we generate a gazillion neurons? Infinite light. Learning how a child learns how to generate more neurons that facilitate our ability to experience such a high rate of speed to motor our consciousness and living soul spirit essence is neurons. Neuron transmitters, network engineers. We built networks of communication, electrical communication. Higher on the food chain is high-speed neuron production, isn't it? So why do people do things in order to decrease their neurons? That's not very intelligent, is it? So that's why this is a classer, a 3D classer. You want to get to 5D? We do not communicate to other self-aware units of living energy that drive down neuron production. We want this universe to be far more creative and far more intelligent. How do we do that? Becoming what that is. Bigger neurons and more creative imagination. The neuron builds a communication network of communication through our central nervous system. Neurons build neural network of communication. LANs, large area networks. WAN, wide area networks. How big is your universe? It's infinite. Remember I talked about all the books you can write, all those experiences, being an experiencer. You're experiencing the information which comes through the electrons, right? Starts with light, which is what love is. So love is creating the network that you're experiencing, right?